What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, I'm under the belief that the market may not be done crashing yet. I know this is a little bit contrary to popular belief. I know a lot of people do believe that the dump is over and that we're going to see the market pump. I'm just not super convinced yet. I believe that there's a 60 to 65% chance that this market does continue downwards. I think there's a 30 to 35% chance that it is over with yet. And today I want to explain exactly why that is the case from a technical perspective and a fundamental perspective. And I hope you all understand. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this market does pump, but I just have to explain to you exactly what I'm seeing. I think that's my job here. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into it. And I will let you guys know, if you do want to start trading on up to 500x leverage today, although I highly recommend you not use leverage right now in this market, you can use that BTCC link down below. Guys, whenever you do sign up and start trading today, they're going to give you a 10% bonus on first time deposits between $500 and $100,000. This means that if you deposit, say, $3,000, they're going to give you $300 to start trading with today, and whatever profit you make, all those profits are for you, no strings attached. This means that you can reinvest it, spend it, withdraw it, do whatever you want with it. They have a very good platform with a bunch of upgrades on the way right now, so feel free to go check that out down below. And like I mentioned before, I'm not leverage trading right now, and I don't think it's a good idea to be leverage trading right now, but you could get this set up for the future when the time is right, or at least in my opinion. Now, looking at Bitcoin, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to break up today's video into two pieces, a technical perspective and a fundamental perspective. What we're seeing from the technicals and the fundamentals are both pointing me in the same exact direction, so I want to share it with you now. So what many of you know is that about 5 days ago, I made a video that said I'm probably done trading crypto in 2024. Now, in that video, we were right here, like right at the very top of this wick. And what I told you was that, listen, something just doesn't make sense. We saw crypto, this is the Bitcoin chart, by the way, on the 1-day charts. But what we saw was, of course, Bitcoin's price sitting at the top side of an ascending channel. And historically, ascending channels have a 90% chance of breaking to the downside. Now, you can specify and say there's an 80 to 85% chance of breaking to the downside during a bull market, but when you average out bull markets, bear markets, and consolidatory periods, it is a 90% chance. So we have a 90% chance of breaking to the downside, but everybody right here was starting to go long on leverage. Like, we're talking 100x, 50x, 75x leverage, and I just didn't think it made sense. I quite simply couldn't wrap my mind around why people were doing that, and in these moments where I think something doesn't make sense, I stopped trading. So what I did is I closed all my short-term and mid-term trades, I left my long trades open, and I started just doing normal dollar cost averaging in my spot bag because I just didn't trust it. And what we saw from there, of course, and I'm not going to say I knew this was coming, it was kind of lucky, but it just a result of what I saw was the market start pulling back. Now, as the market started pulling back, I told you all what I wanted to see. I said, although it is a 90% chance that we break to the downside, so I'm not a prophet or something, I hope that we break to the downside here. I told you I want to see Bitcoin's price lose this ascending channel. At this point, once we were down here, I wanted to see this ascending channel break to the downside. The primary reason being is because it was going to likely happen at some point anyway, so why not now? Why not just get it over with, and then we can go into the new year with a fresh start? Why not just get it over with? Because if we bounced here and we went upwards, we're just kicking the can down the road, because the only way to avoid this was for some sort of parabolic push to 140k to happen, which I just didn't see happening, not during Christmas season. It didn't make a ton of sense. We get Christmas rallies, but not parabolic Christmas pumps usually. And so because of that, I told you this is what I want to see. Now, what we saw was exactly that. We saw Bitcoin's price start breaking towards the downside, and then things started getting a little bit weird. Now, what we actually saw was a great recovery. We came all the way back down to the $92,000, $91,000 level. I told you that I thought we would go between $91,000 and $90,000. We didn't get quite that low, but we got pretty damn close before the market started to bounce towards the upside, which does make sense because this is a bounce zone, right? You see this previous point of support right here and right here. These are bounce zones, and of course, we hit the bounce zone, came back up. Now, as the market started to recover, which it is kind of recovering right now, what a lot of people have come to believe is that this is now over. A lot of people, and the popular belief is that we have now recovered and now the crash is over and that we will see the market start working its way upwards. But the issue that I'm having is that I am not very convinced. We have not seen that confirmed by any means from a technical perspective yet, and I want to explain to you why that's not confirmed and what we can be looking for in order to confirm it. I hope you do remember, although the things that I will say in this video may sound a little bit bearish, I am just reporting to you what I'm seeing, and I hope that the market goes up, kind of. I kind of hope we see it go up eventually. Maybe not right now because we're just going to re-enter into this channel and then all hell's going to break loose again at some point. But I hope the market just goes parabolic up to 130 or 140 in the grand scheme of things. It'd be great for my bags, but I just have to be realistic. Now, from a realistic perspective, we just saw what's called an SR flip. Okay, let me start giving you the reasons as to why I believe that this market may not be done crashing and that there's a 60 to 65% chance that we go either back down towards 90 or even lower. So there's three main reasons. The first one, the SR flip. What you can see is that we built up the bottom side of that ascending channel as a support zone. We lost it. We came up to it. We hit it. We got rejected off of it without being able to re-enter into it. That's called an SR flip, a support to resistance flip. And whenever you see something like that, it's just not good. It's simply not good. You know how whenever we have a resistance level like this, let's do that. Resistance level, we hit it, we come back down, we break above it, we come back and we back test it, and we have what's called an RS flip, resistance to support flip, and that's very bullish. This is the opposite. This is an SR flip, and these just simply, again, are not good. You don't want to see them happen. It doesn't mean that, you know, this is a guaranteed L and that we're going to go straight to the downside, but it does increase the chances. You have to remember, we're still in a bull market, and so at the end of the day, bulls are going to be bulls, and you never know. At any given point, the market might just rally upwards. So you can't make the definitive statement that this means we're going to go down, but it does contribute to the theory that we're going to go down. The next thing that I am looking at when I see this is a ton of bearish intertwinement here on the MACD. If we look at the 4-hour MACD, we're not seeing momentum really picking up after this bullish cross. We're really just kind of seeing it waver a bit. We got the bull cross there, and then it started to waver, and this is a lacking of momentum. This is a sign that there's not a ton of momentum, even in this bullish push that we have right here, which means that it easily could just continue downwards. I had a very similar moment like this. When was that? That wasn't super long ago. Yeah, just like right here. You see this? So bull cross, intertwinement, a little bit of a pump into a continued dump towards the downside. And that is what concerns me right now. That is what I think we may end up seeing. Another thing that I am paying attention to is what's happening on the daily RSI for Bitcoin. What you can see here is that on the daily RSI, we just lost the 50% threshold and back tested it. This is the 50% threshold roughly right here. Bitcoin's daily RSI came down below it, went up to it, flipped it into resistance, and is now nosediving. It doesn't mean it's going to continue, but it just increases the chances that we're going to go down. And considering we're now in the bottom half, oftentimes when we do lose this level, things do get worse. I mean, you can see right here, it got worse. It got worse, it got worse, it got worse, it got worse. It gets worse every time, except for like right here, I guess. But then it ended up getting worse, and it got worse right there. So you get the point, right? Usually when we lose a 50% threshold, more than half the time it gets worse. And so to me, when I see all these things combined, the back test, the MACD, and the RSI all pointing in a downwards direction, I have to just be honest and say that it doesn't feel like this crash is over yet to me. Now, when I combine this and what I'm saying from a fundamental perspective, it also shows me that this may not be over yet. What we're going to look at in a second here are what we're seeing from is what we're seeing from the liquidation charts, because these also point me in the direction that there's enough liquidations down here to entice the whales or the lizard people who control the market and, you know, to push the market down a little bit further. Now, before we get into that, I will let you know the fundamental stuff can get a little bit confusing. And if you are someone who's simply just trying to get better at this whole crypto thing, I ask you, specifically you, to just stick around to the end of the video, okay? At the end of the video, I'm going to go over what we're doing over in my Discord server. And if you do want to join it, you can. There are thousands, if not hundreds, if not thousands of percentages of gains being posted in here every single day. There has not been one day in the last 30 days, no matter what is happening in the market, that we've not seen hundreds of percentages in gains. So if you're somebody who wants to learn a bunch of new lessons, create new strategies, and use those strategies to develop percentages and gains that could be up to hundreds, if not thousands, again, just stick around until the very end of the video, okay? Now, looking at the market from a fundamental perspective, let's take a look at what's happening from liquidations, because this is the most important tool in all of crypto, if you ask me, from a fundamental perspective. Liquidations tell you at what level people will be liquidated, meaning they get forced out of their trades. It's my general belief that the whales, or again, the lizard people, as we like to joke here on the channel, they like to force as many liquidations as possible, because when crypto investors get liquidated, they usually will leave the market, they lose in general, and the liquidated money oftentimes flows directly up into the pockets of the lizard people, or the lizards, like we like to call them. Now, with that in mind, in any period in which I see big shifts in liquidations, I always get nervous, because I am aware that the whales want to liquidate as many people as possible. Now, a few days ago, 5 days ago, liquidations were heavily in favor of the bears. What I mean by that is basically when we saw, let's see, Bitcoin's price up here, and I made that video saying I'm done trading, all the liquidations were to the downside, meaning that all the market had to do was fall a little bit and people would start getting liquidated by the billions. And what we can see is that as the market has started pulling back, and we've actually seen liquidations shift back in the favor of the bulls, meaning more liquidations will happen if the market goes upwards. The liquidations happen if the market goes up, meaning that a lot of people are shorting the market. Why? Because if it goes up, the shorters lose. So we like to see as many liquidations to the upside as possible. We want to see this green line as high as humanly possible, because it means that if the market goes up, the bulls beat the bears get liquidated, the bulls win. The problem that I'm having right now is that there are still enough liquidations to the downside, meaning that people who are betting on the market going up could lose if the market just goes down to 90,000 or 91,000. I mean, look at the one day. We're rather even here. Billions of dollars will get liquidated if Bitcoin just goes back to 94,000, which isn't very far. We look at the 7-day, billions of people will get liquidated if Bitcoin goes to 92,000. And we look at the 30-day, billions of dollars, I think I might have said billions of people, billions of dollars will get liquidated if the market goes back towards 91K. And so between where we are right now and just this white line right here, there are billions of dollars in liquidations. And I can't wrap my mind around, well, why wouldn't the whales go for it? Why wouldn't they try to force those liquidations? Because you got to understand, these bearish phases during bull markets don't happen often. It's actually very difficult for the lizard people to, I feel like a skid. Anyway, I'm not going to go down a tangent, but it's not common, right? And it's not easy for the lizard people to be able to force liquidations during a bull market to the downside. It's actually quite difficult because retail are buying, institutions that aren't involved with them are buying. There's a lot of bullish pressure. So for the lizard people to be able to force this market downwards, it's difficult. It's not easy. That manipulation is hard. And so in periods in which they can accomplish it, in periods like this where we are seeing the market pulling back, they're going to want to take advantage of this as much as they possibly can. And knowing that they could get easy liquidations back towards the downside, I can't wrap my mind around why they wouldn't try. Why wouldn't they go for it? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're in a bull market, but I just don't know why they wouldn't. Because you may think, well, they don't want to miss out on all these liquidations to the top side, right? All these liquidations that'll happen to these short traders if this market goes, upwards. But what you got to remember is that if the market goes down, the short traders are they're going to go higher on leverage. They're going to get even more confident. There will be even more liquidations that happen towards the upside if the market goes down a little bit. So in my brain, that feels like a win-win. If I'm a lizard person, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, well, I'm going to push this market down towards 91, 90,000 $1,000 or something like that. I'm going to force all these liquidations. Then, knowing that the short traders are going to get confident, there's going to be so many liquidations available to the top side. I'm going to just let my hands go. I'm going to let the bull market convince. And as it goes upwards, all these short traders are going to get liquidated, and the ones who add on to their trades when the market goes down in the short term. So to me, if that's my strategy, that means that the market's more likely to go down than it is to go up. And when you combine that with the fact that we are seeing a failed back test right here, we're seeing the RSI topple, we're seeing the MACD have bearish intertwinement, I can't imagine that we're not going to see this market pull downwards. I think there's at least a 65% chance that this market's going to go downwards. And so because of that, those are my general thoughts, and that's why I don't think so. What I want you to remember, though, is I don't bet against the market. We're in a bull market, and at any given point, I could just be wrong, and the market could just send it upwards, and I know that. That's the reason I'm not shorting. That's also the reason I'm not selling. I'm not doing either one of those things, because I'll never bet against the macro trend. Crypto will almost always follow the macro trend, meaning at some point, it's going to go up, and I don't want to lose. I don't want to sell crypto expecting to rebuy, or I don't want to short and then get liquidated because I was just betting in the short term against the trend. It doesn't make sense. So I'm just leaving it alone right now. I'm setting some cash aside, and I'm ready for if this market pulls back, I'll start buying at 90,000. I'll start buying at 85, 80, 73, and $71,000. Those are the levels on Bitcoin that I'll buy. And the reason I've been so heavy on Bitcoin recently is because Bitcoin's making the decisions right now. What the altcoins are doing isn't really all that important. It's all about Bitcoin right now. And so we're going to watch that closely, and I'm going to continue to dollar cost average. If Bitcoin goes to 90K, I'm going to buy some of my favorite alts. If it goes to 85K, I'm buying a lot more of my favorite alts. That's the strategy. And so because of that, I may be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Maybe the market recovers, and that would be great, fine, and dandy. I just don't see it, and it's just not what I'm seeing coming. So, of course, I may be wrong, and if I'm wrong, feel free to make fun of me. I don't really care. I think there's, again, a 65% chance that we head back to at least $92,000 and a 30 to 35% chance that we try to run upwards. But obviously, as this does continue, I will continue to update you every step of the way. You guys know I've been here every single day, every step of the way, letting you know what I'm seeing and what I'm doing, and that's not changing. And as I did mention before, if you are someone who wants to join in on the Discord server and you want to start learning all these lessons and strategy and get a part of all these gains, look at that 556% gainer there, 140. If you want to be a part of this, what you're going to need to do is you're going to go check out that Patreon link down below. Guys, you can sign up for a Netflix subscription amount. You have $5 a month, $17 a month, and $100 a month. But the executive tier only has 3 slots remaining, and I have no idea when we're going to open up more. So you might want to check that one out if you are a little bit more advanced as a trader and you really, really want to get better. But if you do join the Discord server, guys, you're going to get so much stuff. You're going to get insights with Tyler, which goes over my thoughts and insights on the market, exactly what I'm doing. I bought 15 different cryptos a couple days ago on my spot bag. You're going to get access to daily live shows like Q&A Q&A with K, Crypto Vol Live, Fridays with Frank, and more. You're going to get daily technical analysis reports on the market, fundamental analysis on reports on the market. You're going to get access to a professional team of traders who are posting their buy and sell signals every single day. You're going to get executive insights from myself and many other coaches. You can pause and read the absolute alpha that's just being dropped here for executive members. Absolutely insane. Technical analysis deep dives, live trading sessions, guys, premium classes on things like the Bollinger Bands, the Fibonacci's, a beginner's guide to XRP, on-chain analysis, and much more. You get tips with Tyler, which are 2 to 3 minute long videos on random things. You get beginner's courses, guys, on things like leverage trading, technical analysis. We're going to have ones on fundamental analysis and much more. And there's just so much more, guys. So go check that out down below. Again, you can join this for as little as $5 a month and up to $100 a month. And it's all available down there. And if you do, you're going to get access to a community of over 800 people now, nearly 1,000 people who are making gains and printing profits every single day. So you're going to learn lessons, create strategies, and turn it into profit. And if you want to do that, head to that link down below. But don't forget, while this market is moving and going crazy, I'll be here updating you every step of the way. Hell, I got married on Friday, and I'm still here with you guys knocking out these vids. So if you have been enjoying all that I ask, you smash that like button. You subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I can't wait to see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.